I feel like it would be so amazing if everybody had the same mindset as to like being intrigued by different ethnicities and their cultures and stuff like that. Like actually being open minded about it. Like, hey, so what is Cinco de Mayo actually about? Like, why do y'all celebrate this? You know, I think it's interesting too. And or just when I'm talking about family events and how my family is, and people talking about their family events and how their family cooperate together. It's like, oh, it's also interesting to
very interesting. Yeah,
and it would be so amazing if the whole world thought like that. Like, just was interested in cultures, and then that was just that. But if you disagree to like somebody, just that person.
Right. Don't put it on the whole, the whole race.
But everybody, like everybody that's black or everybody that's white or everybody that's Hispanic, they all have this same type of like personality just because you were, I don't know, hurt by somebody in the past of this ethnicity or whatever it is.
Or if it's just like to get ahead. Some people just want to get ahead so they do something out of, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like racism never ever made sense to me. Even which racism way back in the day was different now, which I'm learning in history today about how it was all based on like money. That was the main draw for it because the cotton was the main thing. They needed somebody to be able to get high production going on, and they couldn't do it themselves
without having to pay.
And
free labor
to them, white men did not need to be getting their hands dirty. They were supposed to be spending their time doing better things. So they need somebody else to get that stuff going.
Yeah.
So so I could see why it was then. But when it became Jim Crow law times then, where it was like black people only can go to this fountain, white people only, that's
I
when
felt
it's like
we started being too high in population,
like,
and now they gotta.
Yeah, what is that about? Where did that come from, and how did that keep going for so long?
Yeah,
I'm gonna chime in here. So you guys said racism came to money, right? It all came down to. Did you know why Oklahoma has a panhandle? The panhandle used to be part of Texas, and Texas was a slave state, and so with the 3/5 compromise, it was that line, right? Not the 3/5 compromise. No, it was the Louisiana Purchase, like that imaginary line to distinguish between which were slave states, which were free states. Well, Texas said, well, Oklahoma can have this part because they didn't want to become a free state. So now we have that panhandle. Because of that. But also when it comes to racism, I think it looks different for everybody. I was just talking about this with someone else. In Africa, when you're around people who looks like you, when the majority of your country is black, you probably won't experience racism.
Yeah.
You'll be experiencing stuff like colorism. So I think it really just depends on what your definition of like race is. Is it like a societal or a social structure, like just to distinguish between different groups? To what was I saying? Just I don't know where I was going with that. But basically, what's your definition of race, and then that can give you an opinion on racism.